Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More, Oma Vina Vedayalu Jagat Samsare, Vedayalu Jagat Samsare, Patita Pavana Hetu Tavavata Samapatita Prabhu Apayara Aha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Aha Prabhu Nityananda Kripavala Kara Karo Ame Vado Dukhi Kara Sikapati Advaita Gosai Daya Karo Tava Kripa Bale Pai Chaitanya Nitai स्वरूप सनातन रूप रघुनाथ स्वरूप सनातन रूप रघुनाथ भट्टायुगा श्रीदेवा प्रभु लोकनाथ दया कर श्री आचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास दया करो रामचंद्र संग मरे नरोत्तम दास श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय 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 द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Panchatattva Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Hari Bol Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Radha Gopal Radha Gopal Radhe Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Srila Gurudev कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्रिषे नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a beautiful verse in which it is said, Anugrahaya bhaktanam deham manushyamasthitaha bhajate tadrishi krida yashrutva tatparo bhavet. The Supreme Lord in this world appears out of his kindness towards his devotees. Anugrahaya bhaktanam. And when he comes in this world, he behaves like a human being, although he is not a human being. Now, why does he behave like a human being? In order to make us feel very close to him and very dear to him. Just like, for example, for a woman, the most dear thing to her heart is a child. If a woman is a married woman, if she has a small tender baby which she can bathe and dress and feed and play with, care for, she feels the greatest joy by that. So Lord says, when I come in this world, I become son of Yashoda, so that my devotee can experience the limits of bliss, happiness, by bathing me, dressing me, decorating me, seeing my childish pranks, and spending time with my own devotees. And day in and day out, Krishna was with Yashoda, right? Isn't it? So this is the gift that Lord gives to his devotees for the devotional service that devotees perform. Because devotees don't want anything else from the Lord. They don't want to become Indra. They don't want to become Brahma. Lord is saying, would you like to be a owner of one Brahmanda? Take one Brahmanda and go. You can be the boss. But devotees say, no, not interested. So the only thing the devotees love is to be in the presence of the Lord and be able to serve him, satisfy him, please him, and exchange love with him. Other than that, they don't want anything. So the Lord comes in this world like a child of Yashoda and gives mother the greatest bliss. And Yashoda gets into the mood of thinking the Lord to be her child, although Lord is master of everybody. But she tends to think, this is my child. And in that mode, she engages in different type of services. And in the same manner, he becomes a covered boyfriend of many of the covered boys. So there is one verse in the Bhagavatam where Shukadeva Goswami adores and admires the covered boys. He says that Jnanis and yogis sitting in Himalayas and chanting Omkar, like that, controlling their breath, controlling their senses and mind for thousands of years. They can even travel at the speed of mind. But they are able to reach only the tip of the toenail of Krishna and they are able to see its shine. That's all. That is the result of their long earned austerities. But these covered boys are not just seeing the shining toenail, they are playing with Krishna in Vrindavan. They are playing games with Krishna. Sometimes one covered boy covers the eyes of Krishna and tells all the covered boys, go and hide somewhere. All of them are hiding. Then he releases Krishna and says, now you find out where the boys have gone. What do you call that game? Ice boy? Is it? Hide and seek. So now then Krishna has to find out. Do you think it's difficult for Krishna to find out? He is there in the heart of everybody. He exactly knows who is hiding where. And nobody can know where Krishna is hiding in our heart. He is all knowing. But still Krishna searches after them and finds them out. So these covered boys are playing with Krishna like that. You can imagine how fortunate they are. He becomes one of them. And it's not that he plays the role of God. He doesn't show his Sudarshan Chakra or, Gada or Shankha Chakra, Gada Padma. All that he does not show them. They are all there in Krishna, but in a zipped form. Of course, Krishna can unzip it whenever he wants. Like sometimes he can release Chakra when he wants to cut the head of Shishupal. But he will not exhibited. Actually, all the 10 avatars are also inside Krishna's body. He can release them whenever he wants. Therefore, Jayadeva Goswami says, Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa. Similarly, it says, Keshavadrita Kurma Shari. So you will always see, always says Keshavadrita, he says. Krishna only becomes Kurma. He becomes Varaha. He becomes Narasimha, he says. Which means all are Krishna only, these 10 Dashavataras. But they are all hidden within Krishna's form. And he can release those forms. So, just like for example, where you are at home now. Now some of you, most of you here, you are wearing dhoti, kurta, wearing tilak. You look like a simple, humble devotee now. Tomorrow your college is sending you for a conference. Then you will manifest another side of your personality. Coat, suit, boot, tie. You will go for the conference, right? No? That personality is hidden inside you, correct? No? You will release that particular form. Because that's how you have to present yourself in a conference when you go. Correct, no? Or if you're going for some interview or something. So, in the same manner, all the avatars are within Krishna, but Krishna releases those avatars. But when in Vrindavan, Krishna plays a human-like role, he plays. One day, Mother Yashoda had bound Krishna to the ropes and then went to kitchen to serve. At that time, Balram returned back home and seeing his brother bound, he was taken by surprise. He asked Krishna, "Hey, Kana, what happened? Why are you tied up to the grinding mortar?" He said, "What to do? Maya has bound me," he said. And then Balram said, "Okay, never mind. I can release you immediately." Krishna said, "Thank you, Bhaiya, very much. Please come immediately, remove me." But then Balram, when he came, see, Balram plays all the 5 roles. He's as a Das, as a Sakha, as a Shantaras, Dasaras, Sakiras, Vatsalas, Madhuras, all the 5 roles Balram plays. Actually, Madhuryaras, Balram becomes Anangam Manjari. But in other roles, he's Balram only. But he also has a Vatsalya for Krishna also. So he asked Krishna, "Okay, I am going to release you just now, but tell me, for what reason Mother Yashoda has bound you?" He asked. So he said, "You know very well, because I steal butter in different people's homes. Therefore she has bound me," he said. Balram said, "That's it. Okay, now you promise me that you will not steal butter, then I will release you," he said. Krishna said, "What is the use of you releasing me if I cannot go for stealing butter?" That is the reason I wanted you to release. Then Balram said, "I cannot release you also." So this is one pastime that happened, but another pastime happened, similar pastime, when Yashoda had bound for Krishna for the first time and Balram saw it. Because Balram has never seen Mother Yashoda binding Krishna, correct, no? First time when he saw, he came home and said, "Who has bound my Krishna like this?" He shouted. And Mother Yashoda was in the kitchen, she was wondering, who is the fellow making noise? So she was having a chamach in her hands, spoon. So she came with the spoon outside and then she looked at, "Who is that?" Then, "Who is that?" she asked. Balram said, "It is me." And then he told the Mother Yashoda, "You don't know who Krishna is? He lies as Mahavishnu. And I become Anantashesh." Isn't it? Yeah, when he comes as Rama, I come as Lakshman. Yeah. And similarly, he comes as Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha. So many forms. You thought of your Krishna to be your ordinary child. And Yashoda said, "See, all these avatars put together have come as 2 naughty children in my home to create a headache for me." And then she said, "If you create noise, I will bind you also up." And Balram ran away from there. So, this is the kind of playful pastime Balram performs at home. Therefore, he says, "Anugrahaya bhaktanam deham manushyam astitaha." He situates himself like a Manushya Swabhava, he behaves. But don't think he is an ordinary human being. Because when Krishna opened his mouth, what did Mother Yashoda see? Therefore, you will see Krishna does Laukik Leela and Alaukik Leela both. Laukik means worldly. Alaukik means superhuman. So human and superhuman. So now I will tell you one Leela and you have to say human or superhuman. Okay? Gocharan Leela. Human. Yeah. Butter stealing Leela. Opening the mouth to Mother Yashoda Leela. Opening mouth, any child can open. And showing universe in the belly, that is supreme. So, opening mouth, you and I can open. But if somebody looks into our mouth, what will you find? Only some gums and some teeth. No? Maybe some smell also sometimes. But when Krishna opened the mouth, what did she see? So showing whole universe in the belly. That is? Yeah, correct now. And playing with covered boys, herding cows and calves, swallowing forest fire. Ah, that is not ordinary. Huh? One day I was traveling in a train. I was sleeping in the berth. Early morning we get up now. So 4 o'clock I got up, got ready, and 4:30 I was chanting. So the opposite man in the berth, he didn't like the light, so we switched off the light. We didn't put the light. So dim light was there, we were chanting. So the chai wala came. So he asked, hey, chai wala, come here. So he took one cup of chai, and he put it in the mouth. He was semi-sleepy. Put in the mouth. It was so hot chai. It was burning, smoky, hot. This fellow didn't realize. He directly put in the mouth, and it burnt his lips. Ah! I shouted like that. And immediately it toppled down. It fell down from the top. And this fellow became angry at the chai wala. He said, you will not get any money. Get lost, he said. You have burnt my lips early morning. I also laughed when I saw that. That fellow was shocked how this fellow Swamiji is laughing. Why I laughed, the previous night before sleeping, I read the pastime of Krishna swallowing forest fire. So I was thinking how foolish human beings claim I am God. If somebody claims God, put fire in their mouth. He can't even tolerate heat of the tea. And people are claiming I am God. So, even chai heat also is not able to tolerate. Krishna is tolerating. Whole forest fire is following. That is superhuman. Correct? No? It is not human. It is superhuman. So, therefore, he does both type of activities. Superhuman activities to defeat the atheists. To show the atheists that don't think of me to be ordinary. Like he went to the Duryodhana's Sabha, for Shanti Doot message. And Duryodhana tried to arrest Krishna with a cage from the top and 1,000 soldiers coming from all directions. Imagine one of you is in the middle of a playground and 1,000 people are coming to capture you. Is there any scope for you to escape? Unless you have wings to fly up. And actually you don't have wings. You can't fly up. 1,000 people are coming to arrest you. What you will do? Probably you will fold the palms and beg them, please leave me, don't beat me up. So what do you think Krishna did? Krishna expanded himself from earth to sky, a huge form, somewhat like looking like Vishnu form. And in that form there was Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, the body was glowing. It was like Vishnurupa only, similar, but not so big like what he showed to Arjuna. It was the part of the Vishnurupa he showed. And the sky, the stars in the sky were falling down. And the ocean waves were rising sky high. And wind was blowing very heavily. And all the devatas are showering flowers from the sky. From his two eyes, Balram and Arjuna came from his two eyes. And behind him were the Pandavas. And on the shoulders there were Lokapalas like, Varuna and, Agni, Varuna, Vayu, Indra, and all of them were sitting on the shoulders. And all the devatas were arrayed all around him. They were all praying to him. So, great personalities like Bhishma and Drona, everybody fell flat on the ground offering wonderful prayers to him. That time Dhritarashtra also was hearing the sound. He asked Sanjay, what is going on? Please tell me. Sanjay said, Lord is giving a beautiful darshan. Then he begged, my dear Lord, I also want to see you. Please give me the eyes to see you. Lord said, Tadastu. Then he got the eyes to see. Then he saw the beautiful form. He also fell flat on the ground. And then this went on for a while. And then Krishna withdrew that form. Then again he was normal form of Krishna with Satyaki, Kritavarma, two Yadus on the other side. He sat with them in the assembly. Then Duryodhana was talking to Karna. Kya jadoo dikha raha hai? Still he was not understanding who Krishna was. Just see, this is the atheistic mentality, isn't it? He didn't know Krishna's greatness, even after showing that. So, Lord wanted to show that form so that, People know, ordinary people wonder, is Krishna God or is Krishna ordinary human being? Was he just a king of Dwaraka or was he a coward boy? People think. So therefore Lord shows such form. So in this way Krishna appears in this world. Anugrahaya bhaktanam deham manushyamasthitah bhajate tadrishi krida ya shrutva tatparo bhavet. So Lord's pastimes are called as krida. He says that bhajate tadrishi krida ya shrutva tatparo bhavet. His pastimes are called krida. Why? He performs them playfully. 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 Why he does it playfully? That he says in Padma Purana, Madbhakta Vinodartham Karomi Vividaha Kriyaha. He says, for giving pleasure to my devotees, I perform various types of pastimes to give joy to the heart of my devotees. Actually, devotees also try to give joy to Lord's heart, and Lord tries to give joy to the devotee's heart. Why? Because they are in each other's heart. So Lord says in one verse in the 9th canto, Sadhavo hridayam mahyam sadhunam hridayam tvaham madanyate na jananti naham tebhyo managapi. Hey Durvasa, I am in the heart of my devotee and my devotees are in my heart. And I do not know anything other than my devotee. And my devotees don't know anything but me. My devotees simply delight remembering me, relishing me, repeating my pastimes. And day in and day out, they're chanting my names. They're always absorbed in me, thoughts of me. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Correct? He says, Madchitta, Madgata Prana, Bodhiyanta Parasparam. They converse with one another about me and they delight in conversing about me. Either he says. So, in this way, the Lord performs playful pastimes. One pastime, really playful, I'll tell you. That was in Maya Danava. This Maya Danava, what he did, three three-story kind of building he erected on the sky because he's Mayavai. Mayavai means he can do magic and all. Three-story building kind of thing. And there he kept all the asuras. And the asuras were attacking from the sky at the devatas. And poor devatas are on the ground and they were not able to finish the asuras. So as soon as the devata would hit the asura, asura would be defeated and die. But then he will dip the asura in a pond. There was a pond of payasam. Payasam means like sweet rice type of thing. And then as soon as you dip them and take them out, immediately asura will come back to life. Then again you would put them to Mrita Sanjeevani Mantra type of thing. So the devatas were completely frustrated. Then they called for Shiva. So Shiva brought his chariot with bow and arrow and he was finishing asuras very fastly. But then he was dipping and taking and putting back. Then Shiva also got fed up. Now Shiva was wondering what to do with this fellow. At that time a magical thing happened. One cow and calf, they arrived at the battlefield. And everybody was watching, including Mayadana. They were wondering, see, can you imagine in the middle of a battlefield, a beautiful cow and calf comes. So they are tender animals, correct? No? They are very tender animals and, and it is dangerous also for them to come, correct? No? If somebody throws some weapon, they may die also, no? But they came. And everybody was watching, what are they going to do? Why are they coming here? They should be in some safe place, they were thinking. But as soon as they came, the cow and calf started, both of them, mother and child, cow and calf, they started drinking the payasam. And Mayadana was watching and not taking any action. And all the asuras are wondering, what is this fellow doing? They also couldn't speak also. Everybody was frozen. And the cow and calf finished every drop of it. They didn't leave anything. And now when the asuras were killed by Shiva, they fell and then Mayadana understood, now I can't save them. Then Shiva became very spirited. And then he sent volleys of arrows, one by one, immediately. Therefore, Shiva came to be called as Tripurari. So who is that cow and calf who came? They are Vishnu and Brahma. They came. So this is the way Lord performs playful pastimes. Is it not playful, isn't it? Yeah. Imagine in the middle of a battlefield, a beautiful cow and calf are coming. and the beauty is every pastime is unique. Then a different pastime will be, he performs in different ways. He performs very playfully. One time, in South India, there is one temple where one time Lord Shiva saw that Brahma became very proud. And he wanted to curb the pride of Brahma. So he made an announcement to the whole place. Whoever is able to touch my jata above my head, I will consider them to be better than myself. Like that he said. Immediately, because Brahma was at that time ego-driven, naturally he wanted to go and touch the head of Shiva. And Shiva started growing in size. And Brahma would fly up, try to touch. He would clap. And he was growing so big from earth to sky. Brahma couldn't catch up with the speed of the growth of Shiva. He was growing very fast and Brahma couldn't fly so fast. But he went on trying, went up. At that time, some miraculous thing happened. Shiva saw suddenly somebody touching his feet. Shocked, what is this? Because all of you are Vaishnavas sitting here. If somebody touches your feet, what you will do? You will allow it? Will you tell them, please take my dust? You will give? Will you give? How many of you will immediately, who is touching your feet? Correct? Shiva was also shocked. Hey, who is touching my feet? Immediately, when he bowed down to check who it is, it was actually Lord Varaha Deva. Because Varaha goes into the Garbha, the ocean, to take the earth and place in her position. No? So Varaha goes down. So Varaha was touching the feet. As soon as he saw the Lord Varaha touching his feet, as soon as Shiva put his head down, immediately Varaha touched his head. Like that. So Shiva laughed and said, my dear Lord, whether you touch my head or not, you are always my master. But you are very intelligent. You touched my feet to get my head down. That's me. So this is a very beautiful pastime which happened in one place. But why did I tell you this? Because the relationship between Shiva and Krishna is very confidential one and very intimate one. And people who are foolish, people who are not having sufficient pious credits, they will always fight who is supreme. Shiva is supreme or Krishna is supreme. Whole life they will fight and they will never come to conclusion. Because you will see that Shiva has a very sweet relationship with the Lord. Actually, in the scriptures, you find Lord respecting Shiva and Shiva respecting Lord. You don't know who is Lord. You can get confused. But overall, if you see a snapshot of the whole scriptures, you will find that Shiva meditates on Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. He meditates on the holy name of the Lord. Vaishnavanam Tashambhu. So, just because Brahma became proud once, don't think Brahma is always proud. Don't think like that. This is all pastime. But they are teaching us that if you become ego-driven with one of your friends, that friend will try to show how big he is and you will try to show how big you are. And the ego tussle has no end. As Shiva was growing in size, you are also flying up. Both of you will never be able to come for a common ground. How many of you have experienced when you got on an ego trip, there was no end to the battle? Experience? That's what this story shows, isn't it? But the story also teaches another thing. Lord Vishnu was intelligent. Instead of flying up to touch Shiva's head, what he did? Touch the feet. That's all. Next moment, when Shiva bowed. That means the best way to make anyone, cooperate with you is to become smart idea, isn't it? So many lessons you can learn from the scriptures. Yeah. So he performs many pastimes like this, sweet pastimes. He comes in this world. But today I'm going to tell you something special because there is Gaur Purnima festival coming up. Correct now? So Krishna in the spiritual world one day turned to Srimati Radharani and said, hey Srimati Radharani, I see that my bhaktas are far more happy than me. Of course, I am happy always. I am always smiling happily. But I see that my bhaktas seem to be more happier than me. They derive more delight. So my heart is becoming greedy to experience the joy that the bhaktas feel. And why Krishna felt like this? There is a reason for this. In our yatra time, one time in Vrindavan yatra, there were about 6,000-7,000 people, So Gauranga Prabhu had a big problem. He was the kitchen leading man. And he saw only, 10-20 devotees will be available for serving. And imagine serving 4,000, 5,000 people. It was very difficult, becoming difficult. So when Maharaj was about to begin lecture in the morning, 11 o'clock, Gauranga Prabhu went and spoke in Maharaj's ears. Maharaj, today little bit you can tell about the importance of doing seva, serving prasad. Because, everybody want to sit and take prasad. Nobody want to serve. And generally my Guru Maharaj I have seen, if something gets into his head, whole day he will be talking about it, thinking about it. It keeps, he keeps thinking, contemplating about it. Like one time he spoke Bhagavatam class in the morning. He liked the topic so much, he continued it in the Sunday feast also. Then afterwards I went for one evening program in the housing colony. He continued that in the evening also. So he keeps, very great souls, they keep contemplating, thinking. After Gauranga Prabhu said this, and Maharaj sang Jayarada Madhava, then he started. I saw the whole lecture he spoke on Seva Bhav. Whole lecture, importance of service attitude. Maharaj was telling this is the thing in spiritual life, everything else is secondary. Everybody should have service attitude, we should render service. At the end of the lecture, 1 o'clock when Prasadam was about to start, there were 800 people queuing up. All wanted to serve Prasad. Then Gauranga Prabhu was in trouble now. Now who is going to eat now? Everybody standing. So then he told Maharaj, Maharaj, now I have another type of trouble now. Today. So anyway, he had to force people to sit down and eat prasad. Reluctantly they ate. Everybody said, no, Prabhuji, Maharaj told us we want to serve now. And next day Maharaj asked a question, who enjoyed more? Those who served prasad or those who ate prasad? Everybody unanimously agreed that those who served prasad derived more happiness. And this was Krishna's point also. My devotees are in a serving role, I am in a accepting service role. So who enjoys more? One who is serving. So he told Srimati Radharani, oh, you all are getting more happiness than me, and I am becoming greedy to get that happiness. But Radharani said, that is not possible for you, because you are God. We are your servants. Only servants can get that happiness. You can't be servant. How can you be servant? Isn't it? Tukaram has sung one beautiful poem. He says that the beauty of a lotus, the fragrance of a lotus, and the honey in the lotus, all these are enjoyable only by the honeybee. But the lotus itself cannot enjoy these things. Can a lotus know its own beauty? Can it know the glory of its honey? It cannot know it. So the only honeybee can enjoy. So who are the honeybees? Devotees. Only devotees can enjoy. So therefore, knowing this, Krishna developed a greed that I also want to be a devotee. So at that time, so Radharani said, you can never get that happiness what we are getting, she said. At that time, one miracle happened. There was one pendant in Krishna's chest. Pendant, pendant? Like this garland, and then locket type of thing, round one will be there. And that pendant started shining on Srimati Radharani's face. So it came on her face, she looked into that, and something very amazing she saw. Inside that pendant, she saw a beautiful personality who was having a golden complexion with long flowing hair and wearing a sacred thread crossing his body, wearing a yellow dhoti and eyes like bumblebees, extremely handsome and with arms raised. He was singing and dancing in the bank of a river. The river was like foaming with whitish waves and the sandy golden beach of the river, in which he was dancing not alone but with a big group of associates. Many of them beating mridanga, beating kartal, and playing, not only just singing, but they were dancing also. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Boliye Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana Hare Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana. So she saw, oh, this person, his eyes are looking like my eyes, she thought. They were exactly like Radharani's eyes. At the same time, my heart is becoming attracted to this personality. Then she was like shocked. She asked Krishna, my heart is never attracted to any man, anybody other than you. How is it that I am attracted to this personality? Who is this personality? Then she asked, is it you? She asked. Or is it me? Because eyes look like me and the personality looks like you. Who is there? Then Krishna just mystically smiled and he said, see, I told you that in this form I will come to know the heart of my devotees. He said, I am going to appear in the age of Kali Yuga like this. And my name will be Krishna Chaitanya, Gauranga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But his form will be Gauranga. His form will be golden in complexion. And he said, I will accept your Mahabhava and I'll carry it with me so that whatever you are experiencing, I can experience the same Mahabhava when I am coming in Kali Yuga. So, this is actually something that happened in the spiritual world, which eventually became manifest, when the Lord appeared here. So, now this is about the future prediction about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appearing. Correct, no? But it is very important for us to know how this incarnation of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is described in the Atharva Veda, there is a section called Chaitanya Upanishad, part of Atharva Veda, where there are many, many verses glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his nature and his activity. So regarding that, I will tell you why is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's descent very special. Because one reason is we all are just 500 years after his appearance. Can you imagine? Millions of years have passed in this universe, but we have just come to this world just 500 years after his appearance. So it's very important for us to know his glory. You see, His Holiness Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj once wrote a very beautiful article in which he explains amongst all the different avatars, Lord Narasimha is the most powerful avatar. Prahlad Maharaj says, my dear Lord, my father Hiranyakashipu, he conquered all the three worlds. He became Triloka Adhipati. And when he occupied the throne of Indra, he was so mighty. You want to know how mighty he was? He says that whenever the sun would become very hot, he could twist his eyebrows. Like that he would shout at the sun. Immediately the sun would withdraw his heat and say, sorry sir. So he didn't have to have an air conditioner. What he did? He controlled the demigods, controlled the heat of the sun, yeah. And he told the wetting agent, heating agent, drying agent. Who is drying agent? Vayu. Wetting agent? Varna. Heating agent? Agni. So Agni, Varna, Vayu, he told, submit your resignation. So, but who will run this department? I will run it all myself. So what we should do? Chap tali bajao bas. I will do everything myself. So that was Hiranyakashipu. And they would submit the resignation and they would be trembling and they would run away. The demigod would come and keep gift in front of him and they would run away. Like that. He was controlling the nature. Everybody in the world was afraid. Everywhere he put a rule. You should only chant Om Hiranyakashipuve Namaha. Anywhere anybody is found to be chanting Om Namo Narayana, he will be arrested immediately. See, later on Indra is speaking to Lord Narasimha later on. He says, My dear Lord, this Hiranyakashipu was such a dangerous fellow. Even in our own chitta, in our heart, secretly we chant Om Narayana Namah. Immediately will come that. He was able to understand that also. Hey, in your heart you chanted Narayana's name. Put him behind the bars. Can you imagine? Not only chanting outside, because he was so much capable. Can you imagine? Therefore, Prahlad says, my dear Lord, such a mighty personality, Hiranyakashipu, when you came out of the pillar, you are million times more stronger than him. You captured him and put him on your thighs and tore him to pieces. He says, therefore I surrender to you, he says. Because the world has not seen anybody as strong as Hiranyakashipu, but for you, he is peanuts. You finished him so easily. Yeah. So easily you finished him. So I surrender to you, he says. So Lord Narasimha is powerful. At the same time, after Lord Narasimha killed Hiranyakashipu, he fulfilled all the rules, correct, no? Every rule he requested, of Brahma, he fulfilled all of that while killing him. Neither in the palace, nor outside in the door entrance, nor in the daytime, nor in the night time. It was the twilight time. Not killed by human or animal. He came as Namargam Namanusham. He came in a combined form. He didn't use any weapons, used only nails. So Lord is very intelligent. Needless to say how intelligent he is. He has an unfathomable intelligence. He fulfilled all the criteria. You want this criteria? I'll follow it and still I'll kill you. He wanted to show to him. If you think you can be a cheater, you can cheat me. I can be a super cheater. Said, Dyutam Chalayatam Lord says, no? Nobody can cheat God. Correct, no? That connection I heard one true story. You see, once a couple of friends, they went to Balaji temple and the fellow prayed, my dear Lord, if you gave me 1 lakh, I'll give you 50,000. And then while going, he said, okay, whatever in lottery you give me, I will give you half. Like that he said and came. But next week the lottery fell and he got 50,000. And then his friend said, hey, wow, you got 50,000, wonderful. I think you will give Balaji 25,000 and you'll keep 25, isn't it? And the man said, no, not exactly. I think Lord Balaji has taken away his 50,000 already. He has given me only half. And the friend said, hey, don't cheat the Lord. And the friend was a very, devoted man. He said, you cannot do this. You have to go to... He was very much pushing him. So then they both went again. This man was not happy to give half of the amount. But when his friend was insisting him, when they went to the hundi, the man tricked the friend. He said, hey, go and get some laddus we have to carry home. I will put the money in the hundi. I brought 25,000 with me. I'll put it. So when a friend went to get the laddus, he just put 100 rupees. And then they came back home. So, and the friend asked him, so you put 25,000? He said, yes, I put 25,000. He said. When they reached home, the man thought, I have tricked my friend, I have tricked Balaji also and friend also. He thought like that. So when he was taking out the laddus and giving, suddenly he noticed the ring was missing. And the gold ring, which was 24,900 rupees. You think you can cheat Balaji? So Balaji took his quota. Correct, na? So I was telling you, in this way you will see, Narasimha cannot be cheated by Hiranyakashipu, can he? Therefore Prahlad said, my dear Lord, you are so powerful, so mighty. We say, Ugram, Veeram, Mahavishtam, Jvalantam, Sarvato, Mukham, Narasimham, Bhishanam, Bhadram. Is Bhishanam for Hiranyakashipu, but Bhadram for Prahlad. Mrityor Namameham. So he is mighty Lord, but what happened was, after he killed the Hiranyakashipu, Lord was roaring. The lions roar. But even the demigods were trembling. Amongst all the demigods, the person who trembled the most was Brahma. Because Brahma had only given the benediction. Correct. Brahma thought, I don't know whether Lord will remember that I gave the benediction. But Lord doesn't forget things easily. Lord told Brahma, never give benediction beyond your jurisdiction. When you are putting signature, you should take my permission. You cannot just put sign. Brahma said, sorry. I'll be more careful. I went overboard in, sanctioning things which I should not be sanctioning. Correct, no? If your HOD is out, sometimes you go to the department, the man asks, is HOD available? Head of the department. Huh? And the person says, Are kaun chahe? HOD chahe? Hum hai na? People say, and the man will say, हाँ ऐसा नहीं, हमको थोड़ा सिग्नेचर चाहिए था, क्या हम सिग्नेचर नहीं कर सकते? People ask like that. Huh? No, I think you may have to take HOD's permission. अरे उसको क्या मालूम, हम सब चलाते हैं. You have seen people say like that? So sometimes the demigods may go overboard, like Indra goes overboard sometimes. Correct? Thinking that I am the supreme controller. Correct? Lord warned Brahma, hey, you should not give anyone beyond his jurisdiction. Lord told him also. And then Brahma was telling, my Lord is roaring, sitting on the top of the throne. There are many steps leading to this thing. So he looked at Lakshmi and said, Lakshmi, he is your husband only. Huh? Correct, no? Please go and pacify him. When Lakshmi saw, she said, I have never seen my husband in this angry mood. You know, he always smiles. He is known as Kamala Nayanam. He has eyes like lotus petals. He is known for smiling beautifully always. Now today is in a different mood. Sakshat Sri Preshita Dever Drishtva Tam Mahad Adbhutam Adrishta Ashrita Purvatvat Na Upeyaya Shankita. She said, my Lord, I cannot go, she said. I am afraid. He's already roaring. If I go near, I don't know what he will do. So, of course, she was overpowered by Leela Shakti, who made her speak like that. Because the hero in that instance was whom? Therefore, Mother Lakshmi purposefully she moved aside, giving that chance to Prahlad. So Prahlad takes the garland and he goes up and garlands Lord Narasimha. And then he tells one famous verse. Naham bibem majitate bhayanakasya jikhvarka netra bruguti rabasogra damstrat antrasra kshatajake sharashanku karna nirghrad abhita digibha arivin nakagrati, saying, my dear Lord, your mane is soaked with blood and your ears are like erect and your neck is very stiff and your hairs are flying and dissipating all the clouds and your eyes are like sun and moon shining and you're roaring. Your roaring is so loud that even the elephants are putting their tail between two legs and running behind the jad, behind the bushes, when they are afraid. So the whole world is afraid. All are terrified by your anger. But I am not afraid, he says, because I am your devotee and I can see that I can see your love for me, garland. But except Prahlad, everybody was afraid. Therefore it is said Lord Narasimha is powerful, but he is also fearful. Correct, no? He is fearful. But there is one personality who is powerful but very beautiful, not angry. Who is it? Lord Rama. Lord Ramachandra, you will see. It is said in Ramayana, it is said Ramachandra was so beautiful that he was as beautiful as Lord Rama, he says. Somebody may say, hey, why are you saying like this? You should compare with something else. He said, yes, I tried comparing. I couldn't compare. I came back to Rama, he says. So, see, there is one famous verse, all of you repeat. Ramaya, Ramabhadraya, Ramachandraya Vedase, Raghunathaya, Nathaya, Sitaya Pataye Namaha. In Ayodhya, Dasharatha would not call the full name of Ramachandra. He would call him as Rama, like that he would call him. Because parents like to call only part of the name. Correct, no? Because otherwise they keep some nickname also. Correct, no? Okay, in one of my classes, one small kid was sitting in the front. I asked him, what's your name? My name is Dilkush, he said. I said, really? Your name is Dilkush? This is the name parents gave you. Then I said, hey, honestly tell me, in your school register, what is the name? He said, oh, in school my name is Dinakar, he said. But at home, mother calls me Dilkush. She has given a sweet name, correct, no? Similarly, he would call Rama, like that he would call. Who? And the three mothers, Kaushalya, Kaikeyi, Sumitra, when they would see Ram, how they would call him? Ramachandra, they would call him. Why? Because Rama was green in color, like Dhruva grass, and his face would be like a full moon. Beautiful. Therefore it is said in another verse, you must have heard this, Aravinda Dalayaksham. What that was? Anybody know? Shri Ramam Dasharatatmajam Aprameyam Sitapatim Raghukulan Mayaratnadipam Ajanubahu Aravindadalayataaksham Nishatara Vinashakaram Namami. Like that, that's the verse. Huh? He's saying Aravinda Dalayataaksham. Huh? He has eyes like lotus petals. So the three mothers will see in the morning when they would see Ramachandra, they would call him with great love. Ramaya. And then the Brahmanas in Ayodhya, they would call him Ramabhadra, one who brings about auspiciousness for everybody. Ramabhadraya. And they would call him Ramachandraya, the three mothers. And Vedasya name was called by Vishwamitra and Vasishta. They would call him as Vedasya. And Raghunathaya name was given by the soldiers in the army. They would tell him, Ramchandra is the Raghukula Tilakam. He is the crest jewel of all the Raghukula dynasty people. And all the ladies in Ayodhya, they would call him Sitapati. Hey, here goes Sitapati, they would say. Because for them, the connection to Ram is through Sita only. Sitapati, they would say like that. In this way, Rama was glorified by Ayodhyavasis. He was very handsome, very beautiful. So Rama is also as mighty as Narasimha. How do you know that? In a place called Janasthan, in Nasik, one time 14,000 Rakshasas came, headed by Karadushan. And Ram told Lakshman, take care of Sita. Now I am going to do a special task now. So he took his bow and arrow. Single-handedly, he killed all 14,000 of them. Can you imagine? He finished all of them in one shot. So, of course, the news reached Ravana. He was shocked. How can one man finish so many? Isn't it? So he is a Godandaraman, one who is carrying the bow and arrow. So, very extremely mighty, as powerful as Narasimha, but he is not fearsome like Narasimha. He is very beautiful. Now, Narasimha is powerful but fearsome, but Rama is powerful but beautiful. But it is said Krishna is powerful also, beautiful also, but merciful also. Why is called merciful? For various reasons. See, when Shurpanaka wanted to marry Krishna, Krishna said, sorry, I have taken Rama, what did he say? I have taken Ekapatni Vrat. I cannot marry. But when Krishna defeated Bhaumasura, 16,000 princesses came out of the jail. And Krishna told them, you all go back to your homes and get married. They said, oh, sorry Lord, my dear Lord, we cannot go because we have been touched and brought by this Asura. Nobody will accept us as husband in this world. We are a rejected lot in society. Even the parents may not entertain us if we go now. They said, although you have released us, we are grateful to you. But where will we go? We don't know. And Krishna said, what do you want? They said, you only released us, so you only marry us. They said, Lord said, all right. He said immediately. He married all of them. Of course, now marrying already is very easy for anyone to say. But he gave them all dresses and ornaments and each one a palace. He arranged to send them on a palanquin and he expanded himself into 16,108 forms. Lived with each of them in one palace like that. So, therefore Krishna is more merciful than Rama. Rama said, sorry, Ekapatni Vrat. Actually, in the Dandakaranya forest, there were rishis, saints. So all the saints, when they saw Mother Sita serving prasadam to Ram, Mother Sita was serving prasad. Oh, how the rishis were saying with great amazement. Oh, what a beauty to see. Mother Sita is cooking and serving prasad to Rama. So they developed a bhava of Madhurya in their heart. Who? Rishis. See, when you become very advanced in spiritual life, these bhavas, mellows will arise in the heart. Like for example, one will want to treat Lord like a friend or like a lover or like a child. So they developed the Madhurya bhava in their heart. And they were all looking at Ram. And Ram became afraid. He said, all of you rishis are powerful fellows. You can change your form at will. So if you change yourself into females and come and say, we also want to cook and serve like Sita. So please accept us as your wife. That will be difficult for me because I have taken Ekapatni said. I won't be able to. But I assure all of you fellows, because you have developed this desire to serve me in the female form, you all will become gopis in the next life. And I will come as Krishna, and in that life you will get opportunity to serve, he said. That means Rama had a limitation of one wife, but Krishna had no such limitation. So he is more merciful. In that way, Krishna is a great social reformer also. Is it not true? Huh? 16,000 people's lives were saved. Correct, no? Huh? Isn't it? No ordinary man can do that. Correct, no? Who has that power? Huh? And another reason Krishna is merciful, if you see Rama and Vishnu, they stand erect like an NCC you stand. Correct, no? Yeah. Vishnu standing like this, and Rama also standing like this. But Krishna will stand like this. You have seen that? Keeping his feet. If you see, you can see that. See how is Radha Gopal standing. So, Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says that below Lord's lotus feet there are 16 symbols. You know that? Each of the symbol has a special meaning. For example, there is an Ankush. Why Ankush is in Lord's lotus feet? Like with Ankush you can control the elephant. Similarly, our mind is like a mad elephant. So how can you control the elephant? That means if you take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, you can easily control your mind. That's the meaning. Similarly, in Krishna's lotus feet, there is a lotus also. Why lotus? The lotus remains pure even in the midst of kichad, muddy pool of water. Similarly, devotees of the Lord who are in Krishna's lotus feet, they will remain as pure as the lotus in this world without getting tainted by the impurities of the world. That's the meaning. Like that, each of the symbols, there is also a thunderbolt also. This thunderbolt is there. Why? Gopis are singing, where is the mridanga? Pranata dehinam papa karshanam. Boliye. Pranata dehinam papa karshanam. Pranacharanugam Sriniketanam. Pranacharanugam Pani Panarpitam Te Padambujam Pane Panarpitam Te Padambujam Pranakucheshunah Pradihritshayam Pranakucheshunah Pradihritshayam. Gopis are saying, Pranata Dehinam Papa Karshanam. My dear Krishna, anybody becomes your devotee, you have this thunderbolt below your lotus feet. So with thunderbolt, you make the mountain of sins into powder. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo. Therefore, there's a thunderbolt below Krishna's lotus feet. Like this, we can talk about the 16 symbols. The whole class, we can speak on that. Very nice. So, even Rama also has it. Vishnu also has it. Krishna also has it. But the difference is, if somebody want to get advantage of those 16 symbols in Rama's feet or Vishnu's feet, you have to really become humble and go below. Because they are standing like this, no? But what Krishna is doing, Krishna is keeping like this, and Vishnu Thakur says he is activating it by keeping like this. It's already in activated state. So which is more easy to access? Activated one, It's like a computer is already open and screen is on already. You can immediately access it. Otherwise, you have to open the computer and find out where is the power card and put it on, switch on. It takes time, no? So Lord has already activated the 16 symbols. So who is merciful? Because he is ready-made, all the symbols are activated. As soon as you go to Krishna, Krishna says, take the merits, take the benefits of all this. Like that he says. It's another reason they have said. Another reason it is said Krishna is merciful. Why? In the Diwali day pastime of Krishna stealing butter in his own house, you know that, no? Till then he was stealing in others' houses. Finally he stole in Yashoda's house only, isn't it? So he was feeding of course when he got the butter, he called the monkeys, correct, no? He told the monkeys, oh Vanaras, when I came as Rama, I only gave seva, but I didn't give you any remuneration for the seva. Now I will give you this, what is it? Take the butter now. And the monkeys happily ate the butter. So Rama is a seva giving master, whereas Krishna is a butter giving master. Who is better? Like in Pune, there was a manager, we made a manager. And all the brahmacharis loved that manager. And everybody glorified him like anything. I was put to surprise. 3 months after my moving to different places, he came to Pune. He is the first manager I heard who was so much glorified by the devotees. Generally, managers are not liked by people. Huh? They would say he always gives services and he demands and he is behind us for Mangalarati attendance and all that we say, no? But this manager was a popular manager. Then I found out how he became popular. He gives little service. When you complete service, he gives you Mahaprasad. So he would give some special Mahaprasad, some sweet he will give. He would say, very good manager. Any service you do, immediately. So everybody likes a manager who gives special Mahaprasad. So Krishna is giving butter. So he is more merciful. Is it not true? Not only he gives service. In this way, Krishna is merciful for various reasons. You know Trivakra Kubja? She is same as Shurpanaka. When Shurpanaka came, that is a very long past time, how she wanted to, she saw two brothers, Ram and Lakshman. She said, hey, both of you guys are very handsome. I am ready to accept any one of you, she said. One of you marry me. That means she is simply a lusty woman. She has no, she has no, what do you call it, sense of who they are. She just seeing these two handsome fellows she want to marry. And Ram said, see, I already have my wife, Sita. And this fellow has no wife. There is a possibility he may marry. He said. Then Lakshman said, see, I can marry you, but not possible because I have come here to serve Sitaram. I come to serve. If I marry you, then I have to maintain you and I won't have time to serve Sitaram. That's what I have to serve. So better go to Ram. She said, okay, don't mind. I will go to Ram only, she said. Again, she went back to Ram and said, you already have one wife. I don't mind being a second wife, she said. You can marry me. But Ram said, sorry. I have a policy of Ekapatni Vrat. She cannot marry. Either he said. Then he said, maybe you can give a try to Lakshman. He may not mind marrying one more. He has one wife at home there, but he may marry one more, you can try. She went there. This way back and forth they were going. Then she said, this Sita is the cause of my, not accepted, being accepted by Ram. So she was thinking, looking cruelly at Sita. She was about to pounce upon Sita and eat her up. At that time, Ram told Lakshman, hey, Lakshman, bahut ho gaya abhi, do the needful. Immediately, Lakshman, he cut the nose and cut the ears. And she screamed and she fled from there. Correct, no? Therefore, that place came to be called as Nasik. Because Nasik, he cut, correct, no? So, that means she accepted by Ram? She was rejected by Ram. Whereas she came as Trivakra in the next incarnation. So, she was carrying Chandan for Kamsa. And Krishna voluntarily called her. She was an old woman with a hunchback, with a stick, holding a stick like this. She was going like this. Krishna, with his friends, was entering into Mathura. He said, oh, beautiful young lady, where are you going? And all his friends laughed. And then somebody may say, why Krishna is teasing her like this? She's not a young girl, she's an old woman. And he is calling her beautiful, but she's not beautiful, she's ugly. Why is he calling her as a young? How can God tease somebody, you may say. But our acharyas have given commentary that Krishna predicted what is he going to do to her. Because he made her beautiful and young very soon after that. So, he told her, you are carrying Chandan for Kamsa, but if you apply the Chandan on Balram and me, you will become fortunate, he told her. She immediately took the Chandan and applied on Krishna's forehead and shoulders. And the next moment, Krishna put his foot on her foot, caught hold of both her cheeks like this and gave a jerk. Like that he lifted up. And she became straightened, her hunchback vanished, and she became a young, beautiful girl. And there Prabhupada writes, in this world, everybody is a kubja, Prabhupada writes. Because everybody is carrying their baggage of sins on their back. Even the most beautiful cinema actors and actresses are also kubja. Because they may be handsome looking, beautiful looking, but they are also carrying the baggage of sins they are carrying. But if you come in contact with Krishna consciousness movement and start chanting Hare Krishna, following the relative principles, everything, then Krishna will make you beautiful. Correct, no? Like Prabhupada said in America, the hippies used to have long beard, long moustache, long flowing hair, and they were always stinking with, all drugs and drinks and, cigarette and everything. But when they came to Krishna consciousness, they clean shaved all this beard and moustache and hair, and they had a very nice saffron dress with kantimala and japa beads. And Prabhupada said, now you guys look like you're descended from Vaikuntha. He said, Krishna has made you so beautiful. He said, how ugly you are and how beautiful you have become. Isn't it? So, In this way, the rejected Shurbanaka became accepted in the Krishna Leela. Therefore, who is more merciful? Yeah. So now, I told you about Narasimha. I told you about Ram. I told you about... But Krishna is merciful. But Lord Chaitanya is more merciful than Krishna also. The reason I will tell you, there are reasons for that, I will tell you. See, Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna vinna vichalayat. He says, my dear Arjun, if somebody preaches this message of Gita, he is very dear to me, he says. But if somebody is not interested, he says, chhod do unko. Krishna vinna vichalayat. लातों का भूत बातों से मानने वाला नहीं, सुनने वाला भी थोड़ा लात खाकर आएगा वो, बाद में आएगा, छोड़ दो उसको अभी. Like that he says in Gita, don't chase after people, only for interested people you give. Like that he says. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Nityananda, Shuno Shuno Nityananda, Shuno Haridas. Boliye, Shuno Shuno Nityananda, Shuno Haridas. Sarvatra Amara Agya Koroha Prachar. Amara Agya Prati Gare Gare Giya Koro Yayi Bhiksha. Prati Gare Gare Giya Koro Yayi Prati Gare Gare Giya Koro Yayi Bhiksha. Prati Gare Bolo Krishna Bhajo Krishna Karo Krishna Shiksha. He's saying, Lord Chaitanya is telling, hey Nityananda, hey Haridas Thakur, come here, come here. He says, please fulfill my desire, my instruction to you. Go door to door, he says. Call the people. And when they open the door, fold your palms and beg them, please chant Krishna's names. Please, worship Krishna's deity form. Please accept, please read Gita and Bhagavatam. These three instructions he says. Bolo Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, Karo Krishna, Shiksha, he says. So this is the instruction he gave. We don't want anything from the people. We want people to do these three things. And then he also told them that when, for example, imagine somebody comes to your door to bat at the door. You open and they are ready to give you milk. And they're telling you to bring the vessel. And in case you say, I have no vessel, then they give you vessel also, milk also. Are they not very merciful? So Mahaprabhu says, Patra Apatra Najaki. He says, don't see any qualification. Like he says, Dena Shuddha Krishna Shiksha, Dena Shuddha Krishna Shiksha. Jati Dan Vidya Bal Na Kore Apeksha. Jati Dan Vidya Bal Na Kore Apeksha. So he's saying, the Lord doesn't see what is your jati, what is your jati dhan, what is your wealth, what is your bal. He doesn't see all these things. So he only says one thing. If one is interested, even little bit also, he says, you don't wait for them to come to you. You go to them, he says. Like you will see in a situation where a patient is sick, he goes to the hospital and waits outside, correct? No? One by one they go into the hospital. But if patient is very sick, then what they do? Doctor comes to home, correct? No? So Kali Yuga patients are too sick or less sick? Therefore, Mahaprabhu said, don't wait for them to come to you. You go to them. Home delivery. Go and meet them. Therefore, I also started Bhagavatam home delivery. I told them, anybody want Bhagavatam, just order, I'll come to your home to deliver. So I could sell hundreds of Bhagavatam through that, going home to home and giving like that. So our movement is called door-to-door movement. So in this way, Lord Chaitanya is extremely merciful in reaching out the message to door. So there is one very famous song about Lord Nityananda, which says, I'll tell you the song. It says, Adama patita jiver dware dware giya Hari nama maha mantra reno vilaiya Tare reke tare ko hedante trina dhori Amare ki niyalo ho bhaja gaura hari तवाले नित्यानंद भूमे गड़ी जाय सोनार पर्वत रेनो झूलाते लोटाय हेलो अवतारे यारती ना जन्मेलो चोचन बोले से ये पापी येलो अरगेलो अक्रार परमानंद नित्यानंद राम अभिमान शून्य नित्य नगरे बेड़ाय अभिमान शून्य नित्य nagare vedai. So, see how amazing it is. He's saying that Adama Patita Jiva Dware Dware Gya. He would go to the fallen souls' houses and door to door he would go and Harinama Mahamantra Deno Bilaya. He would batter the door and give them Japamala and make them chant Hare Krishna. Some people would immediately agree to chant, seeing that, oh, you're coming to a home and giving mala, I'll take it, I'll chant. Some people say, "Hey, time kidhar hai?" Some people say like that. Where is time? I don't have time. Then you tell, hey, please don't say like that. Give little time. Just, God has given you 24 hours. Just give 10 minutes for God. And after a little preaching, they will agree. Some people will say, no, don't disturb us. We don't have time. Then Nityananda would fall flat on the ground, offer obeisances and tell them, please, I offer you obeisances at your lotus feet. You are a Mahatma, great devotee. Please chant one round. You would beg them like that. And some people seeing him fall on the ground, such a very beautiful looking personality, and they would immediately agree, okay, now I will chant now. Like that they would. Some people, even after falling on the ground and begging, they will say, hey, don't do all these things, I have no time, they will say. Then you roll on the ground. That's why he's saying, Dulatya Lota, he's saying. After seeing him rolling and getting the body dusted, they are dusty, they will say, okay, don't take so much trouble, I'll chant. So this is the way Nityananda preached, can you imagine? So Gaunate are the most merciful, extremely merciful. Actually, you will see when Krishna Balram, they kill so many demons. But when the Krishna Balram are coming as Chaitanya Nityananda, my Lord, they have diametrically opposite nature. They don't kill anybody. They only kill the demoniac nature. Therefore, they are more merciful. Instead of, and then Nityananda told Chaitanya, if you have to kill people, then you have to kill everybody in Kali Yuga. Everybody has some problem. But you will see they distributed holiness. It's a very beautiful, movement. It's called Kevala Ananda Kanda. It is. So still Prabhupada introduced us to three special forms of the Supreme Lord. One is a dancing God, another one is a eating God, one is a sportive God. Who is a eating God? Who is a dancing God? And who is the sportive God? So all three are very unique in their futures. And they are very beautiful and charming and very attractive. And the same one Lord is Jai Gaur, Jai Krishna, Jai Jagannath. So we will sing that song and conclude. Jaya Jaya Jagannath Sachirananda Tribhuvane Koridar Charanavanda Jaya Jaya Jagannath Sachirananda Jaya Jaya Jagannath Sachirananda Tribhuvane Koridar Charanavanda Jaya Jaya Tribhuvane नीलाचल शंख चक्र गदा पद्मधार नादेया नागरे दंड कमंडलुकार नीलाचल चक्र गदा पद्मधार जय हो बोले पूरबे रावण वधिला गोलके वैभव लीला प्रकाश कोरिला श्री राधार भावे ये वे गौरावतार हरे कृष्ण नाम गौरा कोरिला प्रचार वासुदेव घोष बोले कोरी जोड़ा हाथ, जय गौरा जय कृष्ण जय जगन्नाथ। वासुदेव जय कृष्ण जय जगन्नाथ। वासुदेव घोष बोले गौरी जोड़ा हाथ, जय गौरा जय कृष्ण जय जगन्नाथ। वासुदेव जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंद, त्रिभुवन कोरेदार करणावंदन। जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंद, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा हरे हरे। गौरांग निताय श्री श्री गौरांग निताय। राधा गोपाल राधे, कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, गौर पूर्णिमा महामहोत्सव की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी।
Guruji, when 16,000 princes approached Krishna, then Krishna married them.
Correct.
So when Brahmana wives approached Krishna, then Krishna told them to go back to their husbands.
That is the reason for that. The reason is given in the Bhagavatam itself. Actually, the Brahmanas' wives were related to Krishna in Aishwarya. They were not in the type of Madhurya which the gopis were in. And also Krishna tells the Brahmanas' wives, although you all are pure souls connecting me with the Supreme Soul, although this relationship is correct relationship, nevertheless it will create a disorder in society. Because you are Brahmanas' wives, you are in a high caste, and then common people will misunderstand your role. Number one, that's number one, he said. Number two, he said, I am not achieved by my devotees by just staying in the vicinity. You may be thinking that if you are with me, you will be happy. Actually, remembering me will make you happy. Therefore, you should go back and chant my holy names and remember my pastimes, and you will feel my presence very strongly, because that is how the spiritual platform works. Like even spiritual master, for example, even if he is with you, you cannot take so much advantage. But if you hear his sermons and follow his instructions and then remember him fondly in your heart, you get him more than just being in his mere presence. So there are two verses, very important verses in the same chapter you will read. The Krishna giving instruction to the wives of Brahmins. He tells them that. And also they were actually amongst those who surrendered to Krishna, there are different people at different levels also. Like Dwaraka queens are more in Aishwarya. In Vrindavan you will find gopis are the topmost. But these Yajna Brahmanas' wives, they are more in a little more reverential relation than the gopis. And they have to stick to the social etiquettes and everything. Therefore Krishna kept them in their position. If you read the chapter, Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, you will read. Then there you will get the purport, you will get it. Thank you. I'll sign, yeah. I'll sign. Thank you. Mr. Prabhupada ki. Is that dinner prasad for everybody?
Yes.
Or all devotees?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Yes.
For so many devotees? Everybody?
Yeah.
Here only or there they have to go? They have to go there actually. Yeah.
Krishna, Hare Krishna.
So when is Gaur Purnima day? What is the date of Gaur Purnima? So 1 week before only we have celebrated. Remembering Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then you will get more pastimes, Sachidaman pools.
Devotees in nectar. So only those devotees should say Haribol, those who drowned in nectar. So actually today I'm feeling so happy to see that there are devotees everywhere, outside also you can see. Because they came late. And here also devotees are there, fully packed outside. And online also, so many devotees are there. So we really thank Prabhuji for, and because of Prabhuji we got the screen also.
See, I told you, big size. This size is selling. Very beautiful, nice size it is. Everybody visibly they can see.
Yes,
now.
yes.
Very good. That can be additional for this.
Yeah. Actually, Prabhuji would always say in our times, like 15 years back, that he wants to see many young Indians, like Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say, na? Like that. But, many young Indians, both young, especially young boys and girls, take up to Krishna consciousness, so that like they can also present Krishna consciousness, represent as well as present. So as
And you have filled up the room with all of them. Packed. This room is packed. So therefore you need a bigger room after 2 years. Up, correct, no? Up, eventually. In future you will need, after a year or two, I think.
New temple.
By the time it will come.
Yeah.
New Temple have big seminar halls here.
Yeah, Prabhuji, temple hall itself and two more halls are there.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
good.
One
Very
pravachan hall and one banquet hall.
Yeah,
They are quite big. They are 6 times of this size.
amazing. Very good. Wonderful.
So,
Actually,
Prabhuji-
my spiritual master used to say, if you fill up the space Krishna has given you, then he'll give you a bigger space.
Haribo! Now, in one sense, Prabhuji, I am feeling happy that MNIT had exams and Triple IT also had college going on.
Yeah.
So, also, Prabhuji used to say always that if there are devotees with very good character, then when they present Krishna consciousness, everybody would hear. So, I really actually appreciate Radheshyam Prabhu's character. That even as an individual Vaishnava in ISKCON, as a servant leader, what an example actually Prabhuji is. Therefore, Krishna also empowers him. So, he's preaching us through his example as well as through his examples.
What they were observed was, they were thinking, oh, better than Narasimha is Rama. Then who is better than Rama? Then Krishna. Then who is better than Krishna? Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, better than me is Nityananda, I said. He told Nityananda one day, Nityananda, when Jagai Mother came, I took chakra to kill them. Whereas you came in between and stopped me. So I am a chakra wielding preacher, you are a love giving preacher. So who is a better preacher? Yes. So therefore, who is greater? He said. But then Nityananda said, my dear Lord, I am like the body and you are like my pran. So he asked Mahaprabhu, who is greater? Is a body great or pran great? So in this way, Nityananda Prabhu defeated Lord Chaitanya. So, very beautiful.
But Prabhuji, for all of us, best is a representative of Lord Nityananda.
Please take prasad. Hari.